Okay, I do believe we might be live. Good morning and welcome to another Sunday morning live stream, everyone. If you're catching this on the replay, thanks for joining me. Hopefully, we have clean audio and not that weird robot duck fart kind of audio that we've been having at the beginning of these streams a few times. Let me see if I can just find the stream on my channel so that I can make sure that the audio is coming through clean, and we'll get started today. All right. Whoops. Cool deal. Whoops. All right. Check one and stuff like that. I don't hear any audio over this. Good audio? Okay, fantastic. Thanks, everyone. And thanks for joining me this morning. All right. So we're going to be checking out where we're at with this track so far. We are going to try our best to get this completely finished up today. This is the fourth session on this particular track so far. It's really close to being finished. We got a lot of work done on this last week. I spent a little bit of time finessing the arrangement since the last session, maybe another half an hour to an hour, just kind of fleshing out a little bit of the final arrangement part. And what we're going to be working on today is just more fine tuning and more polish overall to try to get this track completely finished. We've got a couple more vocal samples that I want to try to get in, and I've got quite a few notes for some things to try and whatnot. So let's see who's we got in the chat today. We got Tony. Thanks for tuning in, Tony. We got Sky Tortoise Ferryman. Hey, what's happening? Lisa, what's happening? Original Synth. All right, I appreciate you guys being here. Let's go ahead and play through the track as it is now, and then we'll go ahead and get started today. Okay, thanks, Lisa. Hearing the ending that I've put together here for the first time. Hey, what's happening? The Imp 67, thanks for tuning in. And that vocal on the downbeat, guys. Just like we talked about. All right, so there we have it. There's basically, I think, the finished arrangement of the track. And what we're going to be doing now, today, is just tiny little polish work. Polish details, making sure that all of the transitions through the whole track are as smooth as possible. And I definitely want to add the rest of the vocal samples that we sampled last week as well. I've got an idea for adding one of those to the chorus. But what I want to do first today is I want to create so let me state also that I haven't had time to work on like learning the arrangement mode. So we're going to continue just working in sort of the clips and scenes, way of working that we have been so far. And basically what that means is like when I want automation to happen, or when I want, say like a filter sweep on a sound or something, we're going to be recording all of that stuff to audio and not doing automation inside of the box. That way all of those things are just hard baked into the samples and into the session. And I really want to take my time and just work this little finite details at the end. So there's a scene here, right? Let me show you. This is the second to the very last scene. The last scene just being our downbeat. Okay. So on the very last scene before the downbeat, it's kind of a breakdown scene, and we've got the pad playing. And we've got these hi-hats playing in the background to kind of keep the rhythm a little bit still. And what I want to do is I want to make a recorded version of the hi-hats where they kind of filter out. And that's what we've got the acid box today out for. And that's the first thing that we're going to attempt to do today, is to record a version of this hi-hat where I'm filtering down the cutoff, and we're kind of sort of minimalizing the groove and, tucking it back further, for that last downbeat. What I want to do to achieve this, let's see here, change the cameras. I'd like to take an external output of the force. So I'm going to route, let's see here, do I have this labeled? I don't. That's great. So we'll go left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the output 3 and 4 from the force here. Whoops, left should be this one. And we're going to route the hi-hats out, and we're going to route them in to this acid box 3 pedal here. And then I'm going to route this pedal back into the force. Let me grab another set of cables. Okay, cool. And let's do that. Okay, so we're going to go right out to the right in. This is going to be 2. This is left out. All right. I've got several pedals out today. We may or may not be experimenting with some of these other things, but that's basically what we're doing today. Since the arrangement itself is pretty much finalized, that's really just giving me the freedom now to experiment a little bit more, with sound design and with those tiny little polish moves that help the flow and the arrangement be as smooth as possible. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the mixer and I'm going to route. I'm going to go to the input and output page, and I'm going to just route our tops out of the output 3 and 4 so that they're going directly into the acid box. Now, for us to hear those back into the force, we're just going to go to the menu, we're going to go to the sampler, and I'm going to turn the monitoring in on that. And I believe that's all I need to do. I believe we'll be able to hear the hats coming through in the mix now, and let's find out. Yeah, I like the way that shaves off sort of the high frequency content on these. I'm gonna just get a hotter level on the recording here. Trying to get this as even as possible. Looking good there. And now what we're hearing is I roll the cutoff. You hear that change happening? It's really subtle. We're just basically filtering down these hi-hats. Oh, I love it. Okay, so here's what I want to do. Let's see here. I want to go ahead and get this cleanly recorded from scratch, so then we can just, line up this new hi-hat part. So let's see here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit ARM to get us recording, and then I'm going to start the clip, and I'm going to go ahead and just, really slowly roll down the filter cutoff and record that into the sampler. I meant to hit stop, but I hit launch instead. That's fine. We'll just need to trim that sample a little bit. All right. So I believe that is exactly what I wanted. I'm going to just label this hi-hats filter down. Okay, cool. Hi-hats filter down, and we're going to go ahead and keep that, and then we'll bring this in on its own track so I can, get it in the mix where it needs to be. But what we're going to do is go ahead and delete the tops happening here. Again, this is just like the hats or the shakers because we're going to bring it in on its own new track here. I'm going to go ahead and load up a drum machine, and we're going to double tap on that so I can give this a name. This is hats resample. I'm just giving everything basically its own track, so I have the most amount of control over the mixing and the levels. Let's see here. We're gonna take our, we're going to take our hats, our tops rather, though, and we're going to make sure that we've got those routed correctly, because I currently, routed the whole track out of our external outputs. So we want to make that, back so that all of the tracks are just coming out of the main output again. Fantastic. Now we can edit the sample that we just recorded. We go into sample edit, and I don't remember what I labeled this again. Let's find it. Probably like hats resample. So I'll scroll over to the H. Hi-hats filter down. There it is. Fantastic. And we're going to go ahead and just start trimming that out. I'm going to go ahead and start zooming in to the downbeat here, and we'll just start getting right in on that downbeat. Cool. Right in on that downbeat. Maybe right about there. perfect. And process and discard. Let me take a look at this here and make sure I'm happy with the volume. I think I want to bring that volume well, actually it's going to sort of jumps up as the filter sweeps down there, so I think we'll just leave that. I'm going to maybe trim a little bit of extra space off the end, process, discard, and then we're just going to go over to the very end of that sample, and I'm going to do a process and fade out, just so that there's no possible way of any clicks or pops, happening in our samples or anything. And we're going to go ahead and save at this time as well. We're going to go Shift and Save. I am a chronic oversaver for those of you who've been watching the channel, and I encourage you all to be chronic oversavers as well. You never know when something just like a tiny little power fluctuation will be enough, to trip your circuit, and if you've, missed lost a couple hours of work, that can be pretty frustrating. So I definitely recommend you all to be chronic oversavers. All right. We've got the hi-hats now trimmed out and ready to put back in. So let's do that. We're going to go, let's see, I want to be on, whoops, go away. I want to be on, what am I doing wrong here? Can I get to this way? Fine, that's cool. I want to be on this hats resample track, and I want to put in a clip right here. And let's see here, that's an 8-bar clip. That's exactly what we want. If I go to note mode, I can put the sample on the first pad here by just scrolling down. We called that, what, hi-hats, filter down, hi-hats, filter down, and here it is. Great. I just want to make it so that when I hit the pad, it doesn't play the sample all the way through. So I'm going to turn it from a one-shot into note mode, and that way, when I hold the sample, it, will let go when I let go of the sample. We're going to go back to the mixer, and we're going to bring the volume on this track down by default. We're also rather going to put a parametric EQ on this track as well. And let's do that. Parametric EQ. Every track gets its own EQ. It's just an always kind of thing. And I'm going to remove like any low frequencies of these hats beneath about 300 hertz with a high pass filter here. Cool. I think we'll also maybe put a little bit of the built-in reverb and delay sends on this resample to maybe get a little bit more life and excitement in these hats towards that very last little bit at the end. I mean, this is really subtle. I'm just bringing it up a tiny bit. Cool, just a little bit of extra space there. I think we're going to need to probably bring this down in the mix some more volume-wise. We'll get this seated in just a moment, but let's bring it down by default. Yeah, cool. All right, and let's put this in on the clip. Let's just go in and put this on the downbeat of this clip here. Cool. And then, let's see, let's nudge that left. And then I like to make the, the sample in the piano roll here like representative of how long it's actually holding the sample down for, because it'll not hold it down if we don't do that, per se. All right, let me launch the clip, and we should hear the hi-hat loop in the mix now. I think I want to give it some more effects still and make it lower in volume. Yeah, well, we can hear it filtering down now. Awesome, and kind of filtering down and out, towards the outro hit. What I want to do is I just want to bring the volume down on it again, but I want to bring these effects like way up, I think, on it for this last little bit, just so it brings a little bit more, life and interest to those hats here. Even more effects still. We are winding it down. And there's room in the mix for these effects to be there because there's not a lot of other stuff going on. Fantastic. Okay, let's go ahead and hear that in context now from the scene of clips before it and then into that so I can kind of judge how high the hi-hats are. Yeah, maybe needed to come down like the tiniest bit more in volume. And I think still more effects. going to go ahead and save at this time. And I'm going to consider that, you know, at this point, like exactly what I wanted to have happen there. Fantastic. Let's see. Am I checking with the chat real fast? Original Sin says he's been running the Force on a power bank. Oh, that's cool. There's an autosave, but it's irritated. Yeah. I'm not really an autosave guy. I'm just a kind of a muscle memory, just save all the time kind of thing. Hey, thanks, Vortex. I really appreciate the support. All right, so filter out the hats for the outro. We did that. Let me grab a pen here so that I can maybe start crossing some of these off as we do them today. Okay, so we filtered out the hats for the outro. Let's go ahead and see if we can get that vocal sample in on like maybe our chorus. We had a nice vocal sample. Those of you who remember from last week that that we never got in this session. And let's see if we can make that happen today. Cool. I think what we'll try to do is we're going to try to get that vocal sample into the chorus of our track so that it just sort of, you know, really nails that section as being, you know, a standout chorus type of section. It's this clip here is our chorus. I'm having an issue with the hi-hats or something. What am I hearing here? What is happening? Why am I getting so much extra on that now? Hear all that, all this extra that's happening here? I'm trying to figure out why that is exactly and what it is that we're hearing exactly, because it sounds like we just heard a filter, so I'm really confused, to be honest with you, as to what we're hearing there. We've got all of the ins and outs out of 1 and 2, so we, you know, I'm going to just pop these out at the back there. We shouldn't be hearing anything coming out of these. I'm not really sure where all that extra delay and stuff is coming from, because I didn't affect this track in the mixer just now. I only affected the hats resample, and if we look at our tops, they're not even being sent to the internal reverb and delay. So let's see about this. I mean, can you hear that? Let's see here. Matrix hats resample. It's not even being triggered until down there. Boy, this is a weird one, and certainly not what I was expecting to have happen at the beginning of this session. Oh, geez. Okay, well, that sounds fine. Just gonna figure out where this problem is. Okay, everything's fine so far. And here we get that. Okay, so let me figure this out. If I go to, I just feel like we're triggering the wrong. Yeah, we are. In fact, for some reason, that's exactly what happened. The snare sample that was on this pad now thinks that it's the tops sample. So, excuse me, thinks it's the hi-hat filter down sample. So all I need to do then is find our original snare drum and replace it back on. Wait, why is that? Oh, come. Wait, what? Okay, here we go. There it is. There's our snare. And so it seems like it's going through too much of that delay. Okay. Fantastic. So there we've got that fixed. I'm not really sure how that happened, but let's go ahead and hit shift and save. And let me thank everyone for your patience while we sort out the weird anomalies this morning. Let me just check in with the chat real fast. It's in 2 locations. Yeah, right? What's up with that? I'm not really sure how I did that, but I must have clicked something wrong. I'm glad we were able to get it sorted pretty quickly, though. Fantastic. Okay, so what was I actually doing, though, when we found that? Right, we were going to try to put the vocal sample in the chorus. So let's go ahead and see if we can't figure that out. Cool. So then here's the chorus playing normally. Right. Okay, I'm going to turn the volume down just a little bit so I don't have to yell over it quite so much. And let's see, we're going to go ahead and try to get that vocal sample in. I'm going to add a clip here. Cool. Okay, what I need to do is I think our vocals are way low in general. So I'm going to bring like our track up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this one here, edit. This one I'll bring down 5. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Trying to get this sample louder in the mix, basically our O. Let me go to the menu here and see if maybe we can, yeah, we'll just bring this sample up a little bit in volume here with the gain change command. Let's bring it up like 3 to start with. That's looking pretty good. All right. Yeah, fantastic. We'll adjust the level in just a moment. I think it may be a little bit, I don't want to bring it down there per se, but rather edit here and then, no, I mean here. Yes, cool. All right, and let's pan this sample. Can we do that? Maybe a tiny little bit. Pan this like a little bit to the left to, give it its own sort of space in the mix. Yeah, cool. And let's go back to the matrix, and then here's our clip. So if we just put that on the downbeat, the O Vox, fantastic. Let's just put that on the downbeat, and let's see, bring that out a little bit so we can see that it's kind of holding a hit a little. And yeah, cool. Now we're getting that in the chorus. Let me see if we can't lower that volume a little more still. I'm going to drop an EQ on that real fast. Just going to remove any low frequencies on the vocal. It needs about 200 hertz. Okay, almost there. I think it's maybe a touch too loud. It might be just the headphones making it appear a little too loud. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to make sure that the vocal sample works there in our sort of chorus. Our chorus happens on our 3rd scene, our 3rd collection of clips. So I'm going to try to just play the track from the beginning, and we're going to hear that vocal sample come in the chorus for the first time, and we're going to see if it, seats in the mix or if it sounds weird or jarring or out of place or anything like that. And then we can kind of decide, are we leaving this in the chorus? Is this, something we're going with? So we're going to listen for that vocal coming in here. Hey, what's happening? Martin, thanks for tuning in. All right, so the vocal's going to come in this time. Maybe a little too loud still. But are you guys liking the vocal? Let me know if we're not liking the vocal. And is the vocal too loud? What are your thoughts on that? I think we've kind of got it in the mix. So the question now is, do we like it and do we want to use the vocal? If we like the vocal and we're going to move forward with that, then I have another idea that we can try to get in with that vocal as well. Hey, what's happening? All right. Yeah, even more to learn. Let's hope so. I'm about it. All right, let's see here. I'm going to assume that we're keeping the vocal for now, and let me know what you guys think. If you hate it, then maybe we'll consider taking the vocal out. And let's see about some of these other notes that I've got here. I definitely want to try to get that other vocal sample in. There's kind of a but-up, but-bup. Yeah. And I think we might need to do a tiny little bit of editing on the start point of this sample just to get it a little bit just a tiny little bit tighter. Yeah. All right. I'm not exactly sure where that would go, although I think I might have just made a note about where to start that. I did. So I was thinking maybe that we could start those vocals on scene 10, which is, let me see here, this scene here. Hey, what's happening, Tapsy? What's happening, Arthur? Thanks for tuning in. Box fits lovely. All right, vocal sounds good. Thanks, everyone. Maybe a tad down. Thanks, Inky. All right. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and just go edit. Was it this one here? Yeah. And let's just bring the volume on this one down a little bit more for now. And then let's see here. See what we think about. I'll do this extra little thing with that vocal in just a moment. But let's see if we can maybe get this one in as well. That would be cool if we had an extra vocal. Whoops. Oh, come on now. These, yeah. First off, we need to do some editing on this. I need to copy it, let's say here and also here, and then delete it from here. Actually, let's go ahead and copy them up one more time so that it's completely, like, obviously in a different section, than these other vocal samples down here. And what I want to do is I want the first one not to have those extra hits, so maybe like this. Ba-da-ba-ba, I think maybe. Ba-da-ba-ba. Yeah, and then the second one could have both. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. And I think actually what I want is I'm still hearing in my head like a third bup or something. And so maybe we'll make a, whoops. Maybe we'll make a third one where it's just a bup here. And get right up on that. Cool. And in fact, maybe we'll just give ourselves all three of these little bups on their own pad, just so we can maybe use those later. Let's copy these over here and make this one maybe. Whoops, I'm doing that the wrong way again. Let me make sure I'm on the right pads that I want to be on. This one. Cool. Wait a minute. Up. Okay, this one just needs to be the first one. Sorry about all the extra bupping there, everyone. And let's see here. Cool. They pretty much sound the same, but they're a little bit different, I think, maybe. Oh, whoops, I put that on the wrong. No, that's right. Just want to move that start point the tiniest little bit. Cool. And let's save at this point, since I've done quite a bit of chopping up on these samples here. Let me go ahead and play that scene and see about just messing with these vocals. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let me try to get that in, and then we can maybe see if I can get it seated a little bit more in the mix. Alright, let's record this. And make sure that record arm. Yeah, cool. In one. No? So yeah, here we go. And all right. So it's a little bit too loud. I'm just gonna give these all of the bups a little bit more effect. Send here. All right. Whoops. And what do you guys think? Is that sounding okay? The butt up, butt part? Is the vocal too loud still? Let's hear it coming in context from the scene before it, so I can really hear what that vocal sounds like, you know, being introduced. I think that I want to put a tiny little bit more high pass on these vocals here. So if I go, yeah, each sample has its own filter, and we can change that from a low pass to different types of low pass, rather, to high pass filters and all that kind of stuff. And I want to get rid of some more of the low frequencies on the butt up vocals. Yeah, so I'm going to put a high pass filter on each of these, and I'm going to just remove a little bit more of the low frequency content on each of these vocal samples. This is very subtle, but, you know, just helping them slot in the mix a little bit better for us. High pass, and do the cutoff. Cool, and one more. High pass, and do the cutoff. Let's hear that in the mix. Better. What do you guys think? Do you guys think are these butt-up vocals working? Are the butt-up vocals too loud? And do the butt-up vocals need more effect? Are they too dry in the mix? Are they too loud? Are they working? I think they're working. I think we want to put a little more effect on all of these still. All right, and maybe I want to bring these down in the mix still a tiny little bit. This is all really, really subtle stuff here. Just trying to polish this stuff in. They need a bit of effects. Cool. I still feel like they're too loud, but I'm almost afraid to bring them down because I'm on these headphones. Let me know what you guys think just about the volume of those. Are they sounding like they're in, or do I need to bring those down a little bit still? What do you think? Just gonna bring it back in context here. inaudible video. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, they're definitely going to come and go. Okay, so what we need now that we've got those vocals in, though, is we need a little bit more of a rest in this particular transition here, because the vocals are still kind of doing their thing. So let me see about what we can maybe make a pause with before we launch into that new scene. Yeah, we can pause the virus arc, all right. And on the tops as well, for sure, yeah. Cool, yeah, we're gonna put a pause here. I'm gonna turn the volume down just a little bit. Come on, get those last 2 extra ones deleted. Cool. A little bit more of a rest now. Okay, I just want to do the same thing with the kick drum. All right. This is one of the reasons why I went through and I labeled all of the patterns, because basically I just want, to put in a rest of 1 bar with the kick drum. I can see here that the pattern underneath the one I'm on now literally says with 1 bar rest. So I can go ahead and copy that and I can paste that in to where we're at now. And now we'll get a 1 bar rest on the kick drum at the end of this measure as well. I think I'll need to do that same thing on the bass line as well and create a little bit of a bass there. Our vocals will kind of keep going and then the transition will happen, and I think that'll be a lot smoother. We'll find out. Yeah, we can definitely get rid of some bass notes at the end here. I think that'll help us with this transition for sure. In fact, that whole bar can go. Absolutely. And we still have an extra clap in here that I'm hearing. Let me go ahead and save these changes that I've made, and let me find out where that clap is coming through, so that I don't think it's here though. No, it is. No, it's not though. So where is that? On what track is that so I can get rid of it? There's just 1 extra one. It's gotta be on this. I'm really not seeing where that extra clap is coming from, but we gotta find it. We will. It's just gonna take me a minute. I'm gonna look here on the lights this time and see if it is lighting anything up. It's not. It kind of works, but I'd really like to... I don't understand why we're hearing it again is the thing, because it sounds... We've got the bass, we've got the effects. I'm pretty sure it's, nothing on the effects here. No. Really not sure where that's coming from. I think I'm going to have to let that one go for the live stream. Otherwise, I'm going to be here for days trying to figure out where that is. But no worries. what let's do is let's assume that that transition is good, and let's save, and let's not, worry about that anymore at this moment. Now, as I keep playing through the track today, if there's an issue there, we'll hear it as we progress through there. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to go ahead and take this time to do the little finesse with that vocal hit that we got into the chorus. Although now that I think about that, I realize we need to get that vocal hit into the second chorus as that happens. So let me do that first. Um, let's see here. So we've got our vocal sample on the chorus, and that's, yeah, okay, that's that one there. And so I just need to, let's go back into launch mode, and it's this one here. Cool. And I can put it on the end there. And then I just need to find out whatever. Where is that? Chorus. It's this one on 13. Okay, cool. Now we've got the O sample in our second chorus, so that, it's official. It happens in the chorus. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the scene before that is a bit of a breakdown, though. Yes, okay. And this is where this idea comes in. What I'd like to do, and what we're going to do, rather, is we are going to take the outputs again, but this time we're not going to run them, the external outputs. We're not going to run this sound into the filter, but rather I'd like to, let me move some stuff around. All right. I'd like to try to run that O through this black hole reverb here and get it just like a cavernous canyon of, oh, I mean, huge, right? And then I want to try to reverse it, filter all the lows out, and use it as a riser to sort of build into this section that introduces the vocal sample. I hope that makes any sense. And if not, then just stick with me, and it will as we get it put together. Let's go ahead and get this black hole reverb pedal from Eventide into the mix today. I'm just going to swap out that power there. Okay, so we're going to go, oh, all right, I'm going to need a different cable for the inputs, and that's fine. Just going to move this over here for now. Cool. All right, let me make sure this pedal is set to stereo, because you can set it to mono or stereo. It's currently set to mono, and let me change that to stereo, because we are going to be sending it a stereo signal today. Fantastic. I'm just using one of these Roland interconnect cables. I don't know if we can see this on the stream, but they have two little stripes on the plug, and that means that it is in fact a stereo cable. So we got, left and right into it. I really like these. They're not super long, and they're great quality from Roland. They call these their interconnect cables. Whoops. Let's go ahead and take this out of outputs 3 and 4 now. Okay, and let's route this back into the 4s. This is what I, really am having fun with, right? At the end of this session, like trying these external things and, taking that extra time to put in little, polishes and stuff like that. We could just stick in the box and do everything in the box, but if you've got external gear, you should probably be using that gear, All right, so this is going to go back in. So let's go left to left, and then right to right. Fantastic. Okay. What I want to do is I just want to put this on the very first preset, which I believe is like, a giant black hole reverb preset. And in the mixer here, I just need to now route that vocal sample track in and out. We need to route this out of outputs 3 and 4. Now we should be hearing that coming through the black hole pedal. And I'd like to, let's see. Yeah, fantastic. What I'd like to do is go ahead and maybe just solo this track. Awesome. And I'd like the size of, oops, I'm on the wrong, let me fix that and go back here. Sorry, change the cameras so we can see what I'm doing. I'm just messing around with the pedal itself really fast to try to get a larger sound out of this. Yeah, that's long right there. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I am after. So now we're going to go back into the sampling window, and we're going to sample that O through this massive extra amount of reverb. Let's just go ahead and sample that right in. It's too hot of a level, so I'm going to need to bring the inputs quite a bit down on that. That's a good problem to have, by the way. Too much level is a very good problem to have, because as we turn down the inputs, we get less noise floor in the recording, and that is exactly what we're after. So I'm going to go ahead and play the vocal sample again. That's better. Here, all of that extra reverb now is getting recorded and baked into this new version of the sample, right? Fantastic. We're going to go ahead and stop that, and we're going to call this, let's call this Vox O with black hole. Cool. Vox O with black hole. Do it. Keep. Now, if we go to the menu, we can edit that sample, Vox O with black hole. Cool. There's that first one that was too loud. And here's our second one. Looks like it's hotter on the right side than on the left side. So our O is kind of panned to the right already. That's fantastic. That'll just help it out in the stereo mix for us, and it's not like an issue. Let's go ahead and get right in on the downbeat of this O, in fact, though. Just go ahead and process and discard. Fantastic. Now, what I want to do is I want to reverse this sample. And how do we do that? What is it? Process, reverse. Cool. Do it. And now we'll just have we need to adjust the start point a little bit. Now, can you guys hear that fading in? Right now we're using it as a riser, per se. I like the way that is sounding, and let's go ahead and chop that out. Let's also go ahead and save at this time, now that we've got a new sample in the session. Let me just take a moment and check in with the chat, and then we'll keep trying to get this riser in. Yeah, Euro crack. All right. You know, it's funny that, that's like a joke, and everybody says that. It is true. It is so true. You're sitting there with your modules and you're just like, oh, if I just had that one extra filter, I could do this, right? But then you get that filter. And then you're like, oh, well, if I could just send these sounds to a delay. I mean, it just kind of goes on and on and on like this. It's very, very, very addicting because it is super, super fun to play with, and you can do so much with it. It is absolutely Euro crack. Watch out for the Euro crack, you guys. Personal warning from your Uncle Dean. Okay. Yeah, that palette case is sweet, Jim. I mean, Martin, absolutely. All right. Okay, cool. So let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can get this in now as a little bit of a riser in the scene before the vocal sample comes in, as a way to kind of like, let the listener know that the vocal is coming, and also to help with that sort of ebb and flow that we like to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and play the scene before our, second chorus, and we'll try to get this riser in here. I believe I have this soloed. Yeah. We want to put it in on the box right here. Okay. Let me see this. Right, I need to assign that to one of these pads still. Let's go ahead and choose maybe, I don't know, how about this one? And we can put it here. I believe I called this like Vox, so we'll go all the way to the end. Yeah, Vox O with black hole. Awesome. Now, we don't know exactly how long this needs to be yet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a way that we can tell this sound, like when it should stop, when it should turn off. We're going to go ahead and just copy the same sound to another pad, but I'm going to go in on this pad, and I'm going to bring the volume on this one all the way down so that no sound actually happens when I hit this pad. Fantastic. And now we're going to go into the mute mode. Whoops, sorry about all the extra O's we're hearing, everyone. And let's see. I just need to, let's see, this is pad A9, and this is pad A10. So A10 needs to mute pad A9. Let's see, A9. It sort of is still ringing. Oh, I see, because I have it as a one shot. Is that what the deal is? Yeah, I want it to be note on. Nope, that doesn't help. What am I doing wrong here with this one? Because it's not going... Oh, I see. It's still going through the black hole. Easy mistake, and we will fix this. I think I made this a couple weeks ago as well. I still have the vocal samples routed out of outputs 3 and 4, and they just need to be put back to the main outputs. I can even unplug these, you know what I mean, just to kind of make sure that there's no weirdness happening there. Yeah, so now I can hold the riser pad as long as I want, but whenever I hit this pad here, it's going to turn this riser off, okay? I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions on that, just ask me, okay? But that allows us to sort of get a mute on that riser pad there. I just want to bring this one up in volume, I think the tiniest little bit here, and we can do that. I can do that with an EQ, in fact, you know, and what a better way to do that. What a good way to do that. I mean, let's go ahead and open this up, just pop those on, and I can just bring this up a couple decibels here. Exactly, cool. Maybe a little bit more up in volume, and let's save again at this time. Cool. Now I can go ahead and try to actually put this in on the clip, and on the downbeat of the next clip, I just need to put this in, which is our stopper. So I'm going to do that actually first, because that'll be super easy to do. Okay, we just need to put our stopper in on the downbeat of the... I hope this is making sense and you guys understand like what I'm doing. All right. Now that's going to play on the downbeat of the chorus, and it's going to stop this riser from, you know, from sounding. So if I go to the pattern before, now wherever I put the riser in, it's going to automatically stop when we get to the downbeat of the next measure, if it, you know, if it's still playing. Okay. Let's try a 2-bar riser then. Started on measure 7, yeah. And I'm just gonna make it so we can see that it's a 2-bar, you know. We should hear it now at the end. I'm not hearing it, so let me solo this track and find out sort of what we need to do. No, we're not hearing it, and why is that? I have this track soloed, so I believe we should be hearing that now. I fixed it on the mixer. Do I maybe have it on the wrong... Looks like I might. Yeah, I do. I have it on the wrong pad. There we go. Now we should hear it start here. Cool. And then if I go to the next scene, it should stop. Fantastic. Okay, so now we should be able to start hearing this in context and see what we're actually building. Cool. So hear that O coming in at the end. Hey, we got Supaju in the chat. What's happening? Yeah, I'm liking that. It just needs to be adjusted a little bit more still. I think on the new one that we need to remove some more low frequency content from that. That's kind of a, a really big part of my workflow. I'm going to go ahead and remove everything beneath about 600 hertz on this, and we're also going to bring it up, let's see, in volume a tiny little bit as well. And let's hear that again. I'm now just trying to decide if I still want to keep that drum roll in here for this section or not, or whether we want to use, because the drum roll happens, I think, quite a few times in the track. And it might be like more powerful if we just had the vocal doing the build here. Let's see here. We got, where's that at? Drum fills. No, we got 2. We got 3. No, it's not happening that much, really. In fact, I think I have a note to maybe put another drum fill in the last part of the song. Okay, let's, I'm just not 100% sure on that transition. Let me hear that one more time and try to make a commitment, Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. I think I just want to just pull a tiny little bit more of those low frequencies off of it before we go forward. So edit, and no, not that one, but this one. Yeah, and pull just a tiny little bit more of those low frequencies off. Let's go up to like 700 and I don't know, 723. Cool. And what I think I'd like to do then is consider that, section done, so that I don't just keep focusing on that one section. But as we, keep playing the track back in its entirety today and working on these sections, we'll sort of hear it, later if it needs to be worked on still. Let me check in with the chat. Let me check out my notes, kind of see where we're at with the session. Yeah, I really appreciate that, Supajut. No drum roll, just use the, yeah, see, right? I was thinking that too, but then I see that we have actually less drum fills in total than I thought we did. Where's my pen? I was going to start crossing things out. We did get the bub-up vocal in, right? We got that started on like measure 13. Get the bub-up vocal in. I'm going to cross that out. Chop up the individual bub-up. Yep, we did that. I'm going to cross that out. Run the O vocal out into the black hole reverb and turn it into a riser. That was an idea that I had as well, and we did that. So I'm going to cross that out for today. Thanks for hanging out with me on these live streams, everyone. I really appreciate you being here. Feel free to make, comments or suggestions along the way. I know we're pretty close to the end, but if you've got an idea for how we can polish this up even further, that's what this is all about. Drop it in the chat. We'll see if we can get it in, Yeah, okay, let's go ahead and check that out then, since we're kind of talking about this snare roll. When I was working on the, listening back this week to the arrangement or whatever, I thought maybe we needed to get in another drum fill towards the end of the track. So let's see here. What we've got is, if I take a look at the drum fill, this is, a drum fill happening here on scene 12, but then we go another 8 scenes without any drum fills. So let me just kind of arbitrarily take a listen to these scenes and see if maybe we could squeeze in another drum fill. We have 2 to work with. Two options there. This is our chorus. Or that extra snare is just bugging me. Hang on a second, I'm going to fix that. Just bringing on my extra snare back in the mix a little still. Okay, cool. Just listening for the end of these sections, you know? Maybe this next one then. Yeah, okay. How about at the end of this section? Can we squeeze in a drum fill, maybe? Yeah, I think we could probably do that is the thing. And I'm going to try, let's see here, this one. And let's see if it sort of fits. Ah, we just use that one. Now, maybe what I need to do, this is, I want to put it on scene. Yeah, I want to put it on, wait. Yeah, I want to put it on scene 14. Okay, so if we go up to the one up here, we've got 1. So if I go copy and then copy this back down to scene 13, is it here? I said, yeah, I meant 14. Okay, cool. So let's see about this drum fill at the end of this pattern and just see if it works or not. Oh, that's the special one. I see. So let's fix that. I do mean this. Yeah, cool. We might take the other toms out if this works here, because there's a bump-a-dum-bump. So if the roll works, maybe we'll take those toms out. Yeah, I think it definitely works there. Cool. Let's take those toms out, though. So back in, I believe it is the tops track. It's not. Okay. Where are those toms at? I mean, it would be here, though, right? No, it would be here. Okay. On 14. And so I just need to figure out where I can get those. Yeah, it's gotta be here. Yeah. Gonna take some of these notes out at the end here. Come on. Yeah. Is that Tom? Yep. What if I rest the whole measure here? Not quite. Maybe half? Yeah, I like that, but there's a ride symbol happening. And where is that at? We need to get that ride to chill for a moment. There it is, down here. Yes, we just need to get, I think, maybe those last 3. It's either the last 3 or the whole bar of those. I'm not sure. There's a couple extra hats. I think we'll probably want to get rid of those as well. Whoops. Wait, what? What do I have? Matrix. What do I have? Soloed or muted or something? What did I do here? There we go. Don't know how I muted that. Oh well. Right, but that's the, so it's on 14. Yeah. There's the fill. Yeah, okay. Listening for the fill here. I think that's sounding pretty good. Let's go ahead and save there. And let me go ahead and cross this out as well. Snare roll in later scenes, because we just got that in. And let me just take a moment and check in with the chat real fast. could fade in the drum roll. It sort of fades in on its own, I think. Yaga-daga. Drum roll with more bass fits the overall vibe better. Is that what we just did or something I didn't do yet? I'm not quite sure. That last, yeah, thank you. I love Orbital. That's a really big compliment. Yeah. Hey, even to be mentioned in the same sentence with Orbital is like a good thing from my book. You know what I'm saying? Hey, nothing pretty about the scent. Thanks for tuning in. All right. Cool deal. Have some other ideas still. Okay, yeah, that's a good thing. I'd like to somewhere before we call it, I'd like to try to sample something out and then back in using their XY pad, so that we could maybe get like a stutter, like a filter stutter on something somewhere along the line, just as a little bonus. The Bubba Vox, I can cross this out. We did that. Cool. Let's see what else we've got here. The vocal sample in the chorus, and then also use it as a riser. Yeah, we did that. So, whoops. So I can cross that out. How long we been going today? How we doing on time? About just over an hour? Fantastic. I think we're going to get this track finished today. This is session number 4. As I say all the time, the reason that I don't do a lot of like finished tracks on this channel, where we just typically start a lot of stuff from scratch, is, you know, the amount of time that it takes me per se. I typically spend about 15 to 20 hours to make a finished track, and this one appears, you know, pretty much no different. It's about that same amount of time when you start adding it all up together. Remove bass at the end of scene 3. Okay, I guess I have a note to check that out, so let's check that out. Let's go ahead and find scene 3. I believe that's our chorus, so maybe we have a little bit of extra bass as the chorus turns around to the next section. Let's find out what we think there. Glad we got that vocal in. Cool. Yeah, there's a little bit of extra bass at the end before that turnaround because there's kind of a rest. Let me go into this clip here. Maybe just try these last 3 notes to delete first. See if that's enough of a pause or whether we need to get rid of all of them. Yeah, see, I just really think that pause would be better. Just to have the rest there, maybe. I'm going to go into the next scene from this one. Yeah, what we need, though, is now that that second note on the lead needs to go away. That last very... Whoops. Oh, come on now. That very last note on the lead in this scene. Yeah, cool. It's that one there. Dun, 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 dun. And, cool. Let me listen to that. Oops, it's before it, rather. All right. No, it is bass at the end of scene 3. Okay, so it's basically at the end of the chorus. I just wanted that pause. Okay. Cross that one out. And the bass should pause. Yeah, and we get that tiny little snare roll, but that pushes forward into the next section. Yep, I'm happy with that. Let's save. Flute riser through. Let's see, I'm trying to decode this note that I've written here to myself. I've written flute riser through black hole reverb at the end of scene 3. Well, that's the scene I just messed with, so scene 3 is our chorus, and I'm assuming now that scene 4 is going to be the introduction of the flute for the first time then? It is. So my idea was sort of the exact same concept that we just did with that O vocal sample. We're going to resample it out, reverse it, and kind of use it as a fade in to introduce the tonality of the new sound that's about to come in. I think I would like to take a moment and try to do that exact same technique with the flute lead and sample just the very first note of the flute lead going through that same huge black hole reverb, and then we can reverse it and use it as a riser sound to try and introduce the flute for the first time. So the riser, I'm talking to myself here to think it through what we need to do. The riser would come at the end of scene 3, which is our chorus. Um, let's see if we can make this happen. I'm just going to take our outputs 3 and 4 again. All right, and we're going to route that into the black hole. And then I want to, let's see here, I want to take the flute, our synth flute itself, and I want to, in the mixer section, cool, synth flute. I want to take the outputs of that into, send them out of the extra outputs into 3 and 4. And then if we go back into the menu and we're in the sampler page, we should be able to see what I'm actually doing here. What I want to do, though, is I want a very specific flute hit. So let's kind of make that happen. I want to let's just copy this into like the first pattern so that I can create a variation of this. And yeah, and then hear all that reverb on the flute. Oh, this is going to be hot. Okay, so what I want to do is just go into this clip here. Bear with me. I just want to delete all of these notes except for the very first flute note, which is like our root note of D here. We're writing in the key of D major. So now, if I solo this track, right, that's what I'm talking about. We end up with this giant flute sound, right? And it's just that one hit. I'm going to use this as a riser the same way we just did with that vocal. So if I go into the menu and we're in the sample, no, not sample edit page rather, but sampler page, and I just hit arm, now I could just launch that. Now I'm just going to let that tail ring out. Fantastic. And we'll go ahead and stop. And then this is the flute. This is the flute hit with, come on, with black hole. Okay, fantastic. Keep. Let's go ahead and go into the menu and we can edit that sample. Sample edit and flute hit with black hole. There it is. Cool. We'll start zooming in on this bad boy so we can get it right, trimmed at the very, very, very beginning of the sound. Come on. Cool. Boop, boop, boop. And let's go process and discard at this time. Let's also make this one a tiny little bit louder while we're here. Gain change, make it 4. Fantastic. That's nice and loud. And lastly, I just want to go ahead and reverse it now. Process, reverse, cool. And then we just want to figure out where we want to start this, coming in. Maybe a little bit hotter than that. Maybe a little bit less than that, and then we'll go ahead and process and discard. Cool. What let's do is save at this time now that we've got another new sound recorded. And I just want to remember, before we go forward, to go back to that mixer because we still have our synth flute track going out of those outputs 3 and 4, okay? So I'm just going to put those back to outputs 1 and 2, and I'm even going to just pull these cables out just as a safety precaution. Let's see here. Now we just need to actually put that riser in, and we sort of want to do the same thing with that we did with the let's see here, with the O vocal sample. Whoops, why am I not? Oh, because that's on a, okay, no worries, it's on its own track, so I need to create a flute resample track, no problem. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to bring in the new drum machine and we're going to label it flute, flute, come on now, resample. All right, fantastic. Now we've got its own track for that, and that's exactly what I want, so that I can put the, put this here, let's see here, what did I call that now? Flute, with blackhole. Come on. Oh, but I'm on 16 level. I saw it say that on accident. I don't know how to get off of 16 levels or into 16 levels. I'm not sure what I did to create that. Let me see if I can figure out how to get out of 16 levels mode. If anyone knows how to get out of 16 levels mode, please drop that in the chat, because now I'm not actually hearing the sound. Or is that because I have something soloed or muted? No, I don't think so. I saw it say 16 levels. I'm not exactly sure how I got in that mode. I don't use that mode personally. I might need to just add a new track and start again. Unfortunately, I hate when it's a little something stupid like that. You know, it's like one tiny little thing that I don't know how to do, you know, and then it's got me into a little bit of a hiccup here. I think the easiest way to get around this is going to be just to delete this track and start again, because I don't know how to get out of this mode. So let's just do that real fast and move on with the session. Whoops, I'm copying instead of deleting. Delete. Okay, that's the hats resample. And let's go ahead and go drum again, and then note, and then edit, and then sample. And this was like flute, resample. And I'm not hearing it. Why am I not hearing it? Let's see here. Matrix and launch. Did I get into some crazy mode that I can't hear the other tracks with? Let's find out. If I go into like tops, can I hear these? No, I cannot. So it must be because of that 16 levels mode, or something. Oh, I feel like a fool when these little tiny anomalies come up and make it so we can't do stuff. Does anyone know how to get out? Oh, I see. I've got everything. I see. It is a solo situation. Sorry, everyone, for the incompetence level of today's stream there. All right. We're going to try to get this back in, though. So we're going to go, and we're going to call this flute resample. Fantastic. And then we're just going to... there, cool. Now we've got it back in the mix. And let's go ahead and shift and save. Probably got that way too loud. And also, I'd like to put an air parametric EQ on this track real fast. And let's go ahead and just remove any low frequencies beneath about 200 or 300 hertz here. All right. Now we just need to do the same thing that we did with the vocal sample. We need to create a way for this to tell it to, when to stop. So I'm just going to copy it to a new pad, and then we're going to edit this pad, and we're going to tell this pad that it doesn't make any volume at all. So it's just a stopper at this point. Now I'm going to go and tell this pad whenever I, play it, that it should mute the first pad. Okay, so I can now turn that off whenever we want to, okay? So I can use that as a riser. Let's go, I don't need to save just yet. Let's go back to the matrix, and I wanted to put this in on, let's see here. The riser would come in at the end of scene 3, and it would stop it on scene 4. So let's go ahead and put the stopper in on scene 4. Fantastic. All right. There's our stopper. And then let's go to the scene before it. And let's try a 2-bar riser on this flute sound. Wait a minute. Oh, it's at the end. You're right, because it's a flute. Okay. Just getting ahead of myself there. Here's our new riser. But I'm not really hearing it. So let's see if we can hear it this time. Figure out what it's doing in the mix here. Is it in there? No, and why not again? Ugh. Flute resample is soloed. Why not in? I feel like I'm on the wrong track there. Looks like we are. So let's, oh my gosh, let's fix that. Okay, and, but why wasn't I? Okay, I'm just listening for that little flute riser, make sure it's in the mix there. It should play here, and it's not. Because I'm on the wrong pad. I see. Okay, we can just transpose that down. There we go. Now we'll hear a play for sure. Right? All right, fantastic. So now we can actually start hearing this in the mix finally. Yeah, cool. All right. So if I launch this and then we go into the next scene, you know, it'll choke it off and we'll see how loud we need to make this and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that sounds cool. It's not shutting it off because I didn't go to the next scene, but I think the volume is getting a little bit better there. Let's hear the whole thing in context from the very beginning. This is just still the very beginning first chorus section that we're working on. What? Oh, right, because I put that flute hit there so we could sample it. Fantastic. We just need to delete that now. And I'll just save again at this time before we do this. Cool. So we're listening now for kind of the first chorus and the flute riser and that vocal sample. Thanks, Original Sense. Okay, let me hear that one more time. Actually, we'll go back to the scene before that. I think we got it. Just want to make sure. Okay, so that O comes in without a riser the first time, and maybe we want to put that riser in for the first O, and it wouldn't be hard to test that out, I don't think. So let's find out. Let's see. If I'm not mistaken, it's just that it needs both of those copied over. Is this the, this is, yeah, so this would just, okay, so let me copy this one because it has the stopper in it and put this on this one here. And then the one before that should be the riser. And if we put that before that here, oh, I'm on the wrong camera. You guys can't see what I'm doing. Sorry, guys. All right. I'm just trying to see if we can squeeze in that little backwards reverse vocal before the very first time that the O hits. So let's see if that's maybe a little bit too much or if that works. No, I like that. That's definitely working for me. All right, cool. So let's assume that that's good too. And let me take a look at some of the rest of these notes we've got before we just listen to it in its entirety again, now that we've made some, changes and stuff. Yeah, resample something through that XY. I'd still like to do that. I guess that's pretty much... Maybe we could do a drum fill at the end, make our own drum fill using that technique, maybe. Yeah, I really want to get that in at least one time during the track. So I think what I'm going to do is try to find a section that doesn't have a drum fill at the end and see if we can just sort of create our own custom sort of a drum fill then. Let me save at this time just to make sure that we've got a clean part to go back to if I need to. And it would definitely be further on down the line in the track. Let's start checking out where we're at on these scenes here in the song. Near the end of this transition, this might be where it needs to go, actually. Yeah. There's no sort of roll, per se, at the end of that section, or transition, like embellishments, kind of, per se. And this might be like a way that we could make this happen. What I'd like to do is, if I'm not mistaken, I think what we'll need to do is, let's remove this cable from the equation, and let's... Right. I think what I want to do is I want to just route these external outputs directly back into the force here. So let's see, this is 1, so this is left. Right, okay, cool. Okay, and I think what I'd like to do is, and I haven't done this before, so bear with me, I'm just assuming that this is going to work for us, is I'd like to solo our drum tracks. That's the bass track. Whoops. There we go. And am I on the right scene and everything? Yeah. Let's see, solo, but those are right. The mixer, and we need to go to the in and out, and we need to put these out of 3 and 4. Okay, but we're not hearing them yet. Why is that? I thought that we would hear them through these, through the sampler already. And we don't hear them through the sample. Oh, because I turned the volume down, which is probably a good thing because the level was crazy hot. Actually, what I want to do is just, I don't need to do that at all. I just need to resample. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to remove those. That's why I'm just trying to think and do this the right way. I haven't done this before, so bear with me, everyone. We're going to go, let's see, back over here, and I don't want these out of 3 and 4. We still want to keep them out of 1 and 2, I guess. And can I play them now? Because the volume is down, Dean. Oh, idiot. Okay, fantastic. This is exactly what I want. I just want the drums playing solo, right? And then what I want to do is, where is that at? If we go to the menu, and if I go to the XY effects, boom, it says, XY effects has not been loaded onto this track. And I can do it now. This is just a cutoff. It's not or is it a beat as well? It is. So what I'd like to do is just straight up sample some drum fills of our main drums, but going through this, filter beat repeat. Something like that we could then use as a fill in our track. Cool. So to make this happen, see, can I just go back to the sampler, and can I just start sampling, and can I just hit go? No, I need to tell it to resample. Resample L and R, and now we're getting level. Fantastic. Too hot of a level though. What happens if I? Okay, I can fix this too. Discard. I just need to think it through. It's getting too hot of a level on the resample, and I can't like turn that down anymore per se. So I need to then do it on the inside, and I'll need to make a note as to what I'm doing so that I'll remember to get back as well. Let's go ahead and shift and save in case I get crazy and screw something up. Sorry, I haven't checked in with the chat in a bit. I will do that after we get this section taken care of here. I just want to go to the volumes here, and I'm going to bring, let's say, 10 clicks. I'm going to go 10 volume clicks down on both of these tracks, and I'm writing that down so that I can bring them back up when I'm done. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 clicks down on those. We're going to go back to the menu and go back to the sampler and just make sure that I'm not clipping that level anymore. We still are a little too hot, so we're going to go for the resample. So I'm going to make it, let's make it 15 clicks down on both of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go back to the menu and take a look at that level we're getting now. Almost. It's just like the tiniest little bit too hot still. So I'm going to go a full 20 on this mixer. Whoops, I just screwed that up. Let's go undo. Cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe I did that right. If not, we'll fix it as necessary. We're going to go back to that sampler and just take a look at these levels. That looks great. Okay, so now I can absolutely just start recording. Now we're just recording. Now I can just go back to that XY pad. Whoops. Oh, and then are you kidding me? Boy, now, I gotta admit, was not expecting this. It seems that when I went to the XY pad that it shot me out of the recording mode. Anyone know how I can get around that? That seems a little lame, for lack of a better word there. So I can discard that, but it doesn't want to let me, when I leave that sampler window, it stops the recording. All right. So what we want to do then, let me just check in with the chat. I've already thought of another way that we can approach this whole thing to not have to worry about it like that. But that's going to take a moment. So before we get started with another side quest, I'm going to just check in with the chat real fast. Feel free to, ask any questions or make any suggestions along the way today if you've got them, friends. All right. Yeah, streaming from the hard disk would take a huge load off the CPU and RAM. That would be hot, wouldn't it? Okay. I'm just gonna like breathe a minute and take this one step at a time. Okay. The first thing we want to do is we want to bring the mixer levels back to where they were a minute ago. And the easiest way to do all of this stuff is just to reload the session from when I started about to go down this road. So let me go ahead and just reload the session real fast from my hard drive. I believe I have a folder down here called sessions, and this is like YouTube thing. Yes, cool. Loading will, yes, of course I want to continue. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and just reload this back up. I'm going to bring the volume back up so I don't get thwarted there. And I can take this away because we're no longer worrying about the volume clicks. Okay, so we should be back and good to go here. Right, the drums are soloed and that's fine. But what I'm going to do now, let me change cameras, is instead of using the internal XY pad on that to try to get something, we're just going to use the Pioneer RMX 1000, and we're going to try to get something, the same concept, but out of this box instead. And we're we're going to do that by taking these tracks out of the external output. So we're going to go left into the left input, and then right into the right input. Again, I know I'm kind of a broken record with this, but, you know, when you get close to finishing a track, a lot of, you know, there's a lot of urge just to kind of race towards that finish line, just wrap it up and get it done. But I really think that, like, this is the time to take it back a level, take a breath, and see, like, what else creatively we can still do to the track, you know, instead of just trying to wrap it up real fast. Okay. I just want to bring these extra cables in and route the RMX 1000 back into our sampler. So this is a right, so we're going to go out of right into the number 2 input, and I turned these volumes all the way down, so we'll probably need to bring those back up a little bit by default. Let's try that. Cool. All right. Whoops. Okay, so now I believe we're going to be routed through the RMX 1000. I just need to take the in and out of these tracks and go back to outputs 3 and 4 again. I'm going to bring these levels down just in case it goes crazy. And let's find out what happens here. See here, we were going to work with, oh, I forgot that scene. What scene was it? Theme 13? Was it 13? Oh, because I have it set to resample still. That's why. We bring this back to input 1 and 2. There we go. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I figured that out because I was freaking out for a minute there. Okay, got to bring these volumes way down. Just trying to even out these volumes. All right, that looks better. Okay. Just trying to figure out, you know, what it is that I want to do now, because this doesn't have the exact same kind of, you know, filter effect that we were using inside of the Force. Another option would have been to just record out from the Force, you know, what I wanted into like any other device in the studio and then re-import that back in, you know, but that takes a lot of time as well. So I just figured this might be a quicker way to approach it. I'm not really hearing like what I want to be hearing yet, though. All right. What I really wanted was that filter effect that we got out of the MPC. I don't really like what this is doing to the sound. It's not quite the same like that I was getting. not really what I had in mind, so I'm just trying to work with it now, but trying to be careful not to over-compromise like what I had in mind and to end up creating something shitty, you know what I mean? That's really important. That doesn't sound right. I know there'll be music, you know, going over it as well, and we're just hearing the drums, but maybe what I need to do is unsolo so that I can hear everything, maybe. Yeah, we're not really hearing the drums properly, so it's kind of a no. All right, let me think this through, because I really wanted to get in. Yeah, let's do this. I'm going to take I know we just, you know, sort of went completely backwards, and now I'm going to probably, okay, let's see. Where's the tools I need to do this? Can we do this on a live stream? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's risk it. Shall we get crazy? Let's get crazy. I really want the effect that we're getting out of the force. I'm not vibing like what this is doing to the drums here, but I was really vibing it what we were getting a minute ago. So let's reapproach this. I'm going to turn the volume down. That might bite me in the ass in a minute. And I'm going to unplug some of these things here and sort of rethink really quickly how we can get that sampled. And I think I know what I can do. I think what we can do, let me just get this out of the way for now. Maybe I can just set this down here. Okay. What I'd like to try to do, I'm going to plug this into my Mac here. I've got a Mac running in the background. I'm going to change the camera. Let's see if I can reach without pulling anything too crazy. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, cool. Welcome to my Mac. And I'm going to see if what we can do is just maybe record into the Mac onto a thumb drive and then bring that sample back in on the thumb drive, because I really want, you know, that is the thing. Let me see if we can make this happen. Right. So, these are soloed. The volume is down. Let me bring the volume up. Don't know why that's happening exactly. Wait, what? Okay, Dean. Something is not exactly the way that I would like it to be, and I'm trying to think it through, but I'm thinking of like way too many things at once now. So what I'm going to do is I still think the easiest way to get back to where I need to be is just to reload this project one more time. And that's what we're going to go ahead and do. We're just going to load this one more time back to its original state, so I can rely that, you know, I've got it in a place where I need it to be, and that there's not some sort of tech issue I need to figure out along the way. Now, this should be playing as I expect it to be playing, right? Yes. And I'm also sending that level. Not sure what happened there. I'm also sending that level into Ableton now. Cool, and the level looks good. So whatever I'm playing now is getting recorded into Ableton. So I'm going to be able to go back to the menu, back to the XY effects. Okay, I'll check in with the chat in just a minute. Thank you for your patience, everyone. And now I should be able to, affect these sounds, right? Fantastic. Let's go ahead and record this out. But now I'm just going to record these into the Mac. Then I can save what we record onto that little thumb drive, and I can pop that back in the Force. Problem solved, everyone. Let's do this. All right, we're now recording in Ableton, and I have to be quiet, so I'm going to turn my mic off. Okay, cool. This is my mic here, right? Okay, am I back in? Can you guys hear me? Okay, both levels? Okay, cool. So now we can stop what we've just recorded over here in Ableton. And what I can do, here it is. Cool. I can go ahead now and I can just render out what we've recorded, loop that, cool. And I can just render this right out. Command Shift and R. And this is, I don't want it to be, I want it to be a wave. I want it to be 24-bit depth. Awesome. Okay, export. And I want to put that here. And let's call this, this is a drums resample. Whoops. Sample 1. Drums resample 1. Cool, and it's exporting the audio now onto the thumb drive. All right, I'm really glad that we're getting this worked out because I really like the way that this sounds. And now let me eject this drive here. Come on. Cool. Let me grab that thumbstick. All right, cool deal. Now let's go back over here. Getting that light in the shot. Let's fix that. Light gone. Cool. All right. So now I can take the thumb drive, right? Pop that in the back of the Force. Switch the cameras over. I'll check in with the chat in just a moment. Make sure that I'm not missing anything. And we're going to want to put a new track in for this. This is going to be like our drums. Actually, we have a track for drum fills, and we're going to be using. No, let's put it on its own track. Don't try to half-ass it, Dean. All right, new drum track. Let's double tap this. Let's call this drums resample. Thanks for your patience, everyone. There's always a workaround. It just depends, if I'm willing to, put in the time. And I'm pretty much always willing to put in the time. It just, on these live streams, sometimes that gets a little bit, tedious or whatever. Okay. Now, if I bring in a clip here, if I go to note mode, actually, let me but let me edit out those little drum fills that we just sampled, rather. Let's go to... we need to go to, actually, yeah, let me put that on the pad so we can get it in the mix or whatever. Cool. Load, hold on, edit, and then load, and then it's on the cruiser, and it's the drums resample 1. Cool. And menu, I believe I have those tracks soloed, right? Let's fix that. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. We are back in and ready to go. Let's go ahead and shift and save at this time. Now that we got that new drum sample recorded, and let's go edit that out. Let me just get rid of this drive hanging out. Cool. Menu, menu, sample, edit. And here's that. Oh, no. Okay, so this is going to take another couple seconds for some reason. The sample came through empty, as you see there. So I'll need to take a moment, put the cruiser back into the computer, and re-render that sample. I see. I had it going to the sends only. I just need to put it to the master. Sorry about the extra confusion, everyone, and I'll re-render this out real fast. Let's call this drums resample 2. Okay, and eject the cruiser. And I can go ahead and delete this one, drums resample 1, delete sample. All right, bye-bye. And then we can grab the cruiser now that I've re-rendered our drums, and we can pop that back in. We can go back to the load, cruiser, and drums resample 2. Please be there. Don't do this to me on a live stream now. All right, fantastic. We're back in. Let's save at this time. Now that our sample is up. Hey, Obi, you need to go outside? Do you want to say hi? What's up, buddy? Do you want to go outside? This is Opie. He's my studio buddy. He mostly just hangs out and sleeps in here. He's quite a old little buddy. Here you go. You want to go outside? Here you go. You can go. Good boy. All right. Thanks for your patience, everyone. Okay. So, let me just check in with the chat real fast, I guess, before I start editing out this sample. Okay, let's go ahead and switch cameras and edit out this sample then. Okay, here. Actually, I want to maybe keep a couple of these different versions of it. So let's go ahead and make a couple of copies of this sample before I start editing it. Let's go copy, do it, and one more, copy, do it. Now I've got a drums resample 1, 2, and 3 to work with. Let's also go process, maybe normalize on these. This is going to make it the loudest it can be without going over the 0 decibel. Yeah, I like that. So let's just start getting a few of these out. Actually, I think we need to copy it maybe one more time, actually. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay. Just want to get right in on the beginning of this downbeat here, and this is sort of a 1 bar sort of little fill that we've now created. Process and discard. I like that downbeat there. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and fade out at the very end there. Grab that last little section and do a fade out. This is, again, something I really love about the AKAI boxes, is they've got all the tools built in that we need to do all of our editing work. This is really important, and a lot of boxes don't have this kind of features, you know? That sounds fantastic. Let's make this louder. Let's normalize it, in fact. Maybe that was a little bit too loud. So let's undo that and maybe just bring the gain up a little bit instead. Cool, maybe like 4. Awesome. Fantastic. Let me hear that last little section. Just want to do one more little fade out at the end so it's just that much tighter. Fade out. Cool. Okay, cool. Let's save now that I've done that. That's our drums resample 1. Now let's get our drums resample 2 trimmed out so we can get another little variation of a fill there that we've created. So this is the thing, is I've imported, some drum fills from, sample libraries or whatnot. So we had some external sounds in there, but we are taking the time, to get in here and create some of our own custom fills and turnarounds as well. And I don't really have any problem at all using loops or samples or other people's sounds or anything like that. But we don't want to rely on that stuff at the point of forgetting about doing sound design on our own. We still want to get in here and do these kind of custom things on our own as well. This is our resample 2 now, and let's start trimming this out. Let's normalize this so we can hear it better as we're working. Cool. I think I like that as well. Let's find out exactly where that starts. It's kind of a little clap fill here. Starts right there. Yeah, so start trimming that out, discard, and then get right in on this downbeat and get it really, really even and tight in here. Fantastic. Right about there, looks good. Yeah, cool. Now we've got another little bit of a roll. We just need to decide where we're going to trim the end of this now. Okay, it's really right. Whoops. Not. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. I think it's before that hi-hat. Let me just hear this. Yeah, I don't want that end there, so we're going to discard that, and then we're going to do a couple of really tight fade-outs to get rid of that little that's coming through on the end there. We're going to do fade out once, fade out. We're going to do fade out again, so it's just really, really clean at the end. It's not quite right still. Let me see if I grab from the beginning of that snare sound and do a fade out, if that tightens it up or if that screws it up. I think what I want to do is undo a couple of those fade outs and then maybe one more. And I think what I want to do actually is just chop out the end of that sample and get rid of it. So it's really, really tight on the end instead. Let's do a delete and then go in here and do that tiny little fade out at the end. And let me hear that fade out. Okay, cool. I think that might be really tight and clean at the ending snare now. Cool. It's like a nice grab and pulled tight. I like that. Let's go ahead and slide over to drums resample 3. We're still non-destructive editing because I've saved, more copies of the sample. Just something to keep in mind. So let's start zooming in here and start discarding and find the next little, section we might want to use. Let's normalize this actually so we can hear it better as well. And let's find this next little roll here. Oh yeah, I did these sort of filter in sort of oh come on now. I did these sort of filter in sort of sections which might be neat to trim out as well. Let's do that. I think we're going to need an extra copy as well. So let's go to drums resample 4 and copy that one more time to drums resample 5. Okay, now I'm back on 3 here, but we're just non-destructive editing. Okay. Yeah, it's this one here, right, and then start discarding that and zooming right in on that down point. Cool. Right there looks good. Discard, fantastic. Okay, so this is kind of a filter up variation now. Let's hear this one. I actually like it starting on this one, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I like that. So let's say we want to trim that out, that sort of 1, 2, 3, 4 there. And boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's start discarding. Get right in on that last one. Okay, yeah, cool. And trim that. Whoops. Cool. Oh yeah, I like the way that sounds. Let's do a tiny little fade out at the very end of this sample, right after the hi-hat. Let's do a fade out. Fantastic. And now we've got a third little variation now. Ooh, awesome. Okay, so we've got this variation of those hi-hats. Kind of like a filter down. We've got this variation. kind of like our own little sort of drum fill. And now we have this variation, kind of like a filter up. I like that. Let's normalize this one. Cool. All right, and let's save at this time. I'm going to do a little bit more editing here, but I'm just going to check in with the chat real fast and make sure I'm not missing anything important. See, it's 12:03, so we've been going for just over 2 hours today. Thanks for your patience, everyone. I still think we might be able to get this finished. It's not an option so far. I wish they addressed this. Boy, that is huge, Original Sense. I really wish that they would address that, because being able to, resample through the XY pads or any of those things would really be like next level awesome, right? I mean, we were able to do it, just a tiny little bit of a workaround. We could have recorded out into any other kind of portable thing. We wouldn't have to have a computer sitting next to us. It could have been like a portable recorder, or maybe even like your phone, But this is just a super easy way to do it, and then I can just use the thumb drive to, pull the files around. Cool. Let's get the other variation in here as well. So let's go drums resample 4 and see what we can find. Okay, there's our first filter up. Let's find out what we have as well. Oh man, we got to trim that out. That is some hot stuff right there. It's going to be a little bit interesting trying to find the downbeat because the volume is so low right there, but we're going to give it a go. We are definitely going to give it a go. Wait a minute. I think I might have found it arbitrarily by accident there. No, I still want it, I think, maybe to come in a tiny little bit later than that, so we hear a little bit more of the actual filter effect happening. Let me zoom in, way in on this one here and see what happens. Yeah, I like that. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so this would be the end right there. And process and discard. Cool. Let's get right in on that ending point. There's a little bit too much there. And process and discard. Then let's just make sure we get that fade out on the very end there. Fade out, fantastic. And let's bring the gain up on this one because we pulled a section out that was pretty quiet this time. Gain change, fantastic. Let's do that again. Cool. Awesome. Now we just are creating a little bit of our own like rolls and fills that we can kind of just start slotting in to the sections that don't currently have any rolls or fills. So what we're going to do is let me grab a sip of coffee. And I appreciate you all hanging out. This is all just that final tuning, that polish work, that getting everything just, right where you want it so that the whole, track really just pushes and it never, that's my goal anyway, so that it never leaves you feeling like, oh, I wish something else maybe would have happened in that section. Okay, so then we've currently got 4 different drum fills that we can now bring back in whenever we want to. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to need, I believe, we have the original drum fills track, and then we have our drums resamples track. And that is what? That's just this track here with nothing on it yet. Okay, fantastic. So what I want to do is I want to put, let's find these resamples. I see I have the mixer level way too loud still. Let's bring this way down. And I'll adjust this, as necessary as we start getting these in. Let's bring in our second one here. This was like, what is this? Drums resample 1. So drums resample 2. Well, we got a lot of samples in this session. All right, let's go drums resample 3. And then drums resample 4. Okay. We'll need to adjust the levels on these, as we try to get them into our track. Let's go ahead and save now that I've assigned them to the pads. And now we just need to figure out where we can actually get some of these, bonus little sections in. What I think we'll do is we don't need them in the beginning per se. We've already got, some serious stuff happening there. That's all keeping the listener's interest. Then we go into the chorus for the first time, and that's all good. Then we come out of the chorus for the first time, and we start, what do we break it down here for the flute? Yes. And, see that we have those drum fills there. Then we take a little bit of a break here, and then what about this scene here? Yeah, okay. Yep. Awesome. This is a perfect little scene for us to get one of those fills in. And so what I'd like to do is maybe figure out which one I want to try to get in. This is scene number 9. Okay. Yeah, I think I'd like to get. It's going to need to be brought down in volume for sure, but I believe this one might be a good opportunity here in this clip for us, just to get a little bit of a bonus roll that we created, from the tools in the machine into the session. And this is a 1-bar fill. So we're just going to need to create some 1-bar rests on our top and our kicks pattern. Again, this is the bonus about, having everything labeled already, is that I can just go in and I can grab the one beneath it, which has got a 1-bar rest, and I can put that right there where that is, giving it a 1-bar rest. And I don't see one that says 1-bar rest on the tops to copy over. So let's go ahead and just open this up. And we're just going to sort of zoom in to the samples at the end here. Yeah, cool. And what I'm going to need to do is just highlight these and shift and delete. There's a couple extra ones that didn't get deleted. Let's see, I'm going to make sure that downbeat is not there. Yeah, and it's still there. Cool. Because the other sample starts on the downbeat. So now we've created an empty 1-bar pattern for that, not 1-bar pattern, but an empty 1-bar rest in the pattern for our drum fill to actually exist in, if you get my drift. So we can go to our drums resample, scene, was it 9 that I said I wanted to put this on, right? And yep. And so I think I muted these drums, unmute those. So, yes. Okay, fantastic. So it's not this pad, but rather it's what, the one next to it? Yeah, the one next to it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put that on the right pad here. Fantastic. And let's try to maybe get this into the mix. Maybe actually what might be neat is if we did a little tiny bit of a high pass on this one alone, so that it sort of lifts up the low frequency content, and then we slam it back down for the downbeat per se. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm going to use a high pass 2 filter, and I'm going to roll this down, I don't know, about maybe 20, maybe more. Awesome. And let's put this into the same acoustic space as like the rest of our mix by putting a tiny little bit of our effects onto it, our delay and reverb, so that it kind of has a little bit of life after, the sample actually plays there. Try to get this into the mix now. Oh, I think we did it. I think we pretty well got that into the mix. Yeah, we're really close now. I'm gonna bring the effects up on it. Yeah. Awesome. I'm going to save at this time. So what hopefully you can hear, the way it sounds to me, is that, we're now creating, putting in some drum fills that we created. They sound seamless in the mix because they're created from sounds that we've used already. Now that's one that we were able to get in out of 4 possibles that we have to work with. So I'm going to continue checking out some sections in the track that don't have any drum fills and see if maybe we can slot another one of these custom fills in. I'm just going to check in with the chat real fast. Hey, thanks, Original Synth. Hey, what's happening, Rustic? Thanks for tuning in. Could use a splitter or a mixer to bring the Forces Zone audio out back to the audio in without changing the cables around. I like the sound of that. I think that would work. I like the sound of that. Let's see here. Where else do we not have some drum fills at the end of our track, per se? There's quite a bit of a, let's see, we got like yeah, we've got like 1, 2, 3. We've got 6 possible scenes, really 5, I guess, because that last one is just a downbeat. So maybe we'll like skip a scene from where we just put a fill and go to the scene after that and see what that sounds like and if it could maybe use a fill. Yeah, I'm sure we can squeeze a fill at the end of this. Oh, yeah. For sure. Let me see if we got anything here. Oh. Right. There's already the break there. Okay. Let's check out the scene underneath it. Right. This might be good then for another roll at the end. Yeah. Let's see what we got here already. Oh, yes. Well, we do have a little bit of a snare roll, but but I'd like to maybe try to combine that snare roll with this. Yeah, leave these hats in and leave that snare roll already in, but just add these hats. Maybe put a bunch of effect on them, the built-in delay and reverb, so that it kind of has a little bit more, I don't know, oomph. And then put a high-pass filter on this and remove like quite a bit of the low-frequency content just so that it, surfs on top of all those low frequencies. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Okay, cool. So if we go back to our matrix, we'll need to make a space for this to happen. So here's our, there's our snare roll happening there. We can see that if we zoom in, right there. And so basically, we just need to have some rest on the other sounds in that little section. So what we're going to do is, actually, I'm going to leave the kick for now and just remove these shakers. Let's go ahead and go delete. And see, that's our closed hat, not our kick. Okay, cool, because the kick's on another track, Dean. Okay, so we're going to delete that as well. So this is leaving now that 1 bar rest in the shakers and the hats, but our snare roll is still going. And this leaves us room now in the mix to drop in our drums resample. I'm on clip 17. So here we go. We want to use the very first one, and it is a 1 bar part. So I'm just going to grab this here and nudge that onto the beginning of the bar. I believe we'll be able to hear this in the mix now. Let's find out. sounding nice, but it's way too loud. So let's bring it down in the volume, like quite a bit. And maybe we'll also pan this one a little bit to the right, just for fun, just for something different. Yeah. Yeah, now we're getting there. Just need to bring it down in volume a tiny bit more. A little bit more still. I'm trying to sort of match it to the volume of the existing hi-hats that are playing right now, so that it's not like a jarring thing. Still too loud. And I'm gonna pan it some more. Now we're 11 to the right. Very close now. Very subtle, but layered in there. Very nice. Okay. I'd like to save at this time. All right. So what we've done today is we've done quite a bit of like really finesse stuff. We started out by taking the hi-hats and resampling those through a filter at the end to kind of make the end of our track kind of bring it down a little bit before our last drum beat. We put in some variations on some drums today. We added that vocal sample as well. So now when we play through the track, that vocal sample is going to be there for the first time. What we didn't do yet was, let's see. I can't remember all of a sudden if we actually got those bub-up vocals in or whether we didn't get those in yet. I know we chopped them up. That's what it looks like. So did we not get those in? Or did we get them in earlier? That's going to be the and then that's going to be the get it. So is that what I really did? Did I chop up the vocals? No, we did get them in. Fantastic. Okay. So then I'm just trying to think through like all the things we've done before I go. Like, let's listen to it in its entirety and see how it flows. I think what we want to try to do before we do that is see if we can get like that but up, like to come in like one more time in the track. So it's this one here. It's on scene 10. Right. So they won't go over that. A new lead. Maybe on 14. Maybe. Let's try. I'm going to try to see if we can copy the vocal from here down to here. Yeah, it's a no. Okay, no worries. I was just trying to see if maybe we could squeeze that in one more time before we play it back from the beginning and see how the flow is coming along. Let's see, it's been about 2 hours and 22 minutes. Lots of fine tuning we did here. Not a whole lot of like bringing in new stuff. This is just that polish stage. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but we'll probably hear that along the way if that is the case. So we're going to go ahead and check out the track in its entirety. When I get to this stage in a project, where I'm like, okay, maybe are we done? Let me listen to it in its entirety. What I do is as I'm listening to it, if I hear something along the way that needs to be changed, I'm going to stop and we're going to change that. And then we're going to repeat this process. You follow? Until I can get all the way through the track without feeling the need to change anything. Okay? Okay. I'm going to check in with the chat. All right. Hey, I appreciate that audible video. Hey, absolutely. Thanks for watching, you guys. All right. Cool deal. Okay. Yeah, so here we go. We're going to listen to it from the beginning in its entirety. If you guys hear something along the way that you think should be finessed or changed or made a little bit different, maybe try to drop a note in the chat and we'll, take a look at that. Here we go from the very beginning. All right. And again, if I hear something that's not quite, gelling like 100%, I'm going to stop and we're going to try to fix it so that it does, until we can get through it all the way without feeling the need to change anything. Really working. We put in a lot of work on these sections. These transitions are fantastic. I think that vocal sample in the chorus really ties it together. I can't believe I don't want to make any changes. We might get through this. There comes that ride. Might be too loud. Can't tell on headphones. What about that ride symbol, you guys? Is that ride too loud? that clap out here. Oh, these transitions are really working for me. Bring that guitar back in. So we're revisiting some of those, you know, parts from the beginning of the mix. We're gonna get through this. Did we just finish this track? I think we just finished this track. I might have to do a little more dancing. We did it. Oh. How long was that? I don't know. What time is it now? It's like 2.5 hours today. Oh, so this is the 4th stream. We did like a 3.5 hour stream, then a 3.5 hour stream, then a 3-hour stream. So that's like 10 hours. The first week I spent 1.5 hours remixing. That's 11.5 hours. I feel like I'm missing something. Then we added another 2.5 today. 12, 13, it's like 14 hours. And then I spent about half an hour to an hour this week working on the arrangement. So that's about 15 hours put into this. I still think I'm forgetting a session in there somewhere. But that's about right. About 15 to 20 hours is what it takes me typically to put in a track. I mean, to complete a track from start to finish. Oh, I think I've got the goosebumps. Writing this stuff live, you know, in real time can be really difficult, and I'm really appreciative for you guys hanging out week after week and making suggestions on what we should do, helping me flesh out some of these transitions, helping me figure out the levels, helping me decide what sounds we should use and a few sounds that we should skip on. I really appreciate you guys being consistent. A lot of those names in the chat I've been seeing like every week. It's awesome to have you guys here and helping, you know, write a track like this, because this is not, you know, typically what we do on this channel. You know, typically we're just starting stuff from scratch or just like messing around with the gear. We're typically not just slogging through, you know, finishing stuff like this in a live, you know, way, because that can get a little bit tedious. You know, for example, episode 1 of this series has, you know, X amount of views. Episode 2 has a little lower views. Episode 3 has a little lower views and a little lower likes. And I'm sure episode 4 is going to get even less views and even less likes. So, you know, to really just grind this through, for you guys who were really hanging out in the chat with me the whole time, I really appreciate you being here through this song creation session. I mean, wow, 4 weeks in a row we've been working on this track. I'm going to check in with the chat and see if there's any, you know, comments or suggestions for like anything that we need to change. And I'm going to play through it one more time. And I think that we have finished the track here, guys. If anyone has an idea for a name for this track, that might be something you could drop in the chat, because it currently doesn't have a name. All right, I'm going to check in with the chat, see if there's any comments or whatever, and then we're going to go ahead and play this through one more time. Right, it's fine. Awesome, thank you. Thank you, everyone. All right. Okay, yeah, finishing a whole work, right? Supaju knows. Let's play it through just one more time. Let me, you know, make sure that I'm totally happy with it. And I think that's it. I think we've just finished the track, everyone. Oh, fantastic. I think the only other time that I've taken the time to like write a finished track at all on this channel was with the AKAI Force, like a couple years ago, writing a dub techno track. But that ended up being like 10 or 11 episodes or something, like really a lot. But those episodes were shorter, I guess, granted. So yeah, interesting. Right on. Let's go ahead and check this out again one more time. I'm just going to mute my mic for this one. have a winner for the title. Surfing JoJo, you might have just named it. I really like that. Above the clouds. Ooh, I like that a lot, actually. Like, totally. I think that's the one. I think Surfing JoJo is bringing us home with that name. Above the clouds. Yeah, I'm really liking that. That's nice. Yeah. I think that fits really well. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. I like that. Above the clouds. Thanks, Surfing JoJo. Oh, that filter down on the hi-hats is so good. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and call this Above the Clouds. I think that's a fantastic name. Thanks a lot for that idea, Surfing JoJo. That is really great. Fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and do that now, shall we? Let's go save, and let's go save project as, and let's give this a new name. This is Above, Above. I really like that. Above the Clouds. There were some other good ones in there too. And I really appreciate all of those suggestions that just came through, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, Dean, Above the Clouds. Cool. Save. Let's get that going. Well, what do you know? We did it. We were able to get a track finished today. This is fantastic. We're definitely going to be back again next Sunday. Next Sunday is my birthday, and I don't know what we're going to do exactly, but it's probably going to be dub techno oriented because I'm probably going to want to just have a fun, super birthday jam out kind of thing. So yeah, probably going to be something like extravagant, you know. Maybe I'll bring out like a bunch of gear and we'll just dub techno the frig out of it, if you know what I mean. Yeah, cool. Before we call it today, though, for those of you who were hanging out a few weeks ago, I mentioned that, I had written that other song in the Force a long time ago. I just mentioned the dub techno thing. I wrote it like on the channel live or whatever. But now that I've, really finished a second track, and for those of you who don't understand, like, what the hell I'm talking about when I say I don't write a lot of finished music, you're like, if you're not understanding that, like, as a YouTuber, when I put out like a tutorial or an example video or something where I'm teaching, that's going to get a lot of views. If I put out, a song that I wrote, hey, check out my music, that's going to by default 100% of the time get a whole lot less views and a whole lot less interest. So, it takes a lot of time, as you've seen, to finish a track like this inside of, the Force. So I typically don't spend my time doing this. I typically spend my time getting ready for the next week's live stream, getting ready for the next tutorial video, working on example videos. I mean, I'm working my ass off on other projects during the week in here as a sound designer. I mean, this is what I do for a living. This week I spent all week creating wavetables for a new Eurorack oscillator module from Modbap Modular. That module is called Osiris, and I've put together like 128 custom brand new waveform wavetables for that this week. I'm also working on a really long form video for the Mosaic 1U Eurorack modules for that entire line of modules. I have almost all of them in that line, and I'm working on a really long form video for that. I just finished the long form video for the Eventide Tricera chorus pedal, which is absolutely fantastic sounding, and I'm not a really big fan of like chorus per se, but this pedal really blew my mind. So I'm spending like a lot of time on that kind of stuff. I'm not just in here just writing music to release, because that just doesn't get as much interest and as much interaction as tutorials and things that are actually helping people. And there's only so many hours in the day, so for the most part, the things that we write in here, they don't get finished and they just exist for the purpose of that live stream, whatever that may be that day. So wrapping this up there, now that I've got this second song that was written exclusively in this machine, like not using, computers and all that extra stuff, I'm thinking that, now I have two songs that could maybe be a part of an EP. If I finish like a third song in the fourth, then I've got maybe like a more substantial EP. So what I would like to do is to load that song at this time and just play that, and let's kind of see what that sounds like after, we've been getting our brain, wrapped around this groove for quite some time, to see like what that track actually sounds like, and if you guys, if you guys think that it might be something that I should go ahead and try to release, as a project per se, along with this track. Okay. So it's got a nice sound there, whatever. But let me go into the menu here and let me see if I can find that track. Let's see here. Dean's and sessions, and I believe it's called Spider Ice Midas collab. And what this is it started off. Spider Ice Midas is a friend of mine. Is a sound designer, an iOS sound designer, and he sent me a groove that he had written in the iPad in the voices. I can't believe I'm remembering all this. And he sent me a groove that he wrote in the Groove Writer app on the iPad, and I was like, oh man, this groove is fantastic. Please, can I sample this out and make a track with it on the channel, live? Can I remix your thing and make a brand new piece out of it? And he was all like, just do this. So that's what this track is I spent like the first session sampling all these pieces out of the iPad, out of the GR16 app, and we built this track up. And I haven't ever released this. I don't know what the volume is going to be like, so let's find out. This is a much more chilled track than what we've been creating. I'm not sure where to set the volume just yet, because we've got this chilled intro. I'll know when the kick comes in. Here we go.
I just needed to chill out. I just want to go outside.
So this is kind of a underground dub techno thumper kind of a track. Hope I'm not sending out too much level to the stream.
I'm always in this room.
The vocals on this one are my friend Matthew Stratton. He's a YouTuber as well. There's a lot of AKAI content on his channel.
I just want to go outside and enjoy myself.
Oh, hey, thanks, Original Synth.
You just gotta stop sometimes and stay still. Let's go. I just needed to chill out and enjoy myself. Needed to chill out just needed to chill out. Stay still. I'm always in this room. You know, I just want to go outside. So I ended up just hanging out by the river. I just needed to chill out. What I want to do is kind of expand a little bit. What I want to do is chill out. I just needed to chill out. You know, I took that as a sign. You know, I just want to go outside. Chill out.
Trying to decide if the new track, you know, would go back to back with this one. I think it would. Maybe this one first as like a slower opener.
Then chill out.
All right. So that's that track. Cool deal. I think we are going to go ahead and wrap it up today. Let's see, we've been streaming for about 10 minutes shy of 3 hours. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me on these live streams. I'm going to let you guys say goodbye to each other in the chat. And if you have like any last minute questions about working in the Force or about music production in general, now would be a great time to ask those as we're wrapping up the stream. All right, fantastic. Good deal. I'm really glad that we were able to get this track finished today. I mean, there's always that worry, you know, before the stream. How is it going to go? And are we going to actually get there? And, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty stoked that we got there today. Got an orb vibe about it. Yeah. The orb inspired me. Yeah, absolutely. I totally get that. I totally get that. Good stuff. Absolutely. All right. Well, we are going to go ahead and wrap it up then. Again, next week is my next Sunday is my birthday, and I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do, but it's probably going to be dub techno something, if you get my drift, because that is my bag. Okay. Cool deal. So we did it. Another track done, and this is the end of this series. Cool deal. I really appreciate everyone hanging out. I know I said that about a million times, but you know, I really do appreciate everyone hanging out. So until next week, thanks for watching, and take care of each other, everyone. All right. Have a good week. We will see you next time. Peace out.